Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tv@gmail.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm here tonight with Romeo boys soccer coach, varsity soccer coach, Vinny Vasilevsky. And Vinny, how does a star football and soccer player from Eisenhower become the coach of Romeo soccer?
Thanks for having me, Tim. Well, it's a long story. 7 years ago, I was looking for a varsity opportunity to coach varsity soccer in Macomb, and Romeo had an opening, and it was close to home. Back then the rivalry wasn't really a rivalry.
Back then it was always Stevenson and Dakota, and that was it.
Pretty much.
Pretty much Stevenson, though.
Pretty much, and I applied for the job, met Greg Breinert, who was the old AD at Romeo, and really made me feel at home, and loved it. I just loved the first day I stepped in there and never turned back.
And you, just so the folks know out there, I mean, Vinny's not only did he play soccer in high school, was a standout player at Utica Eisenhower, but he kicked some pretty important field goals for the Eagles.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing football for Ike. It was a good time in my career, and it's a little nostalgic having you across from me today talking about.
Well, we interviewed
soccer
each other a long time ago. I mean, I haven't changed much, and neither of you. So
I don't know. I changed a little bit, a little heavier nowadays, but
yeah. Hey, before we talk about this year's team, let's take a quick look back at the 2022 team. You guys were 13-5 overall, with a couple of ties, and you start a season off 9-1 and 2 ties, and man, you're firing on all cylinders. Kind of, what was your feeling there? Do you think you were going to just go straight into the playoffs and just run it?
Yeah, it was a really good start to the season. Early on in the season, I think people really didn't know what we had going on. The year before, we lost quite a bit of seniors, so new guys stepped up. Ryan Capuzzo, for example, scored 19 goals, 6 assists as a senior. The year before, he had like 9, so it was a little bit under the radar.
So he's
junior.
Yeah, he's kicking the ball in the net there.
Yeah, so we had our goalkeeper, Joey Casuccio, at the time. He's back this year, but he was punting the ball 82 yards average a game into the other half of the field. Yeah, so it puts the other team under pressure. So early in the season, people weren't really ready for it. Even, Ike was like, holy moly, how are we going to deal with this? Mm-hmm. And then I think the second half of the season, it was still good. It wasn't incredible, but it was still good. It just, due to a little bit lack of depth last year. So you have your best players playing 80 minutes, and you don't have guys that can really come in and replace them.
Spell them for a breath.
You get tired towards the end of the season. Mm-hmm. But they get film on you, so then the games get tougher. They get tighter, more ties. Mm-hmm. You tie a game, deflates you. Now it's an away game. It's on grass. We play on turf. There's all these little things that happen that second half of the season. It's kind of like football. You get film on you, it changes the way people play you. Yeah,
I remember people were worried when we started doing the Eisenhower football review and showed the highlights and stuff that other coaches were going to, and this is the early 90s, but other coaches were going to pick up on the plays and they were going to change. And then Eisenhower coaches got a little smarter. They started making plays in games that they know they weren't going to do in the next game, so it goes back and forth. But anyway, that came in second in the white and almost beat Eisenhower in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a close game, double overtime, heartbreaker for the boys. A lot of the boys were pretty bummed out about it. I was bummed out. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say anything negative about the season. That's the second best record in the school's history, the best record since I've been here in 7 years. You win. You're in the MAC white. It was very tough. The white was very good last year. A lot of the white teams won their first round playoff games, I was very proud to see that. I was rooting for all of them. They did a great job.
And the white teams are usually teams you don't see in like Mac Red and football and other sports, but Utica Ford.
Yeah, Fraser beat Stevenson and won the district, and Stevenson had a first team All-Stater on their team, and Fraser came and beat them, and we beat Fraser both times last year, 3-1. It's kind of like basketball. It's just that weird sport where
you don't have to have 40 some players.
No.
In some respects, and you have a couple of good players and some players that a good goalkeeper too, like you had with Joey last year, could kick the ball out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, and then in the Mac White, we give up 5 goals in our 10 Mac White games. You tell anyone that, you're thinking I'm winning the league, but Ford was very good as well. We lost to them by one point in the league, and we played them both times. One was a 0-0, and the other one was a game where neither of us had many shots. They got a goal. Windy, rainy game. Chris Olson's a good friend of mine. He's the coach there, but it's tight. It gets tight at the end of the season.
You lost a number of seniors, but you got some people coming back. How's that shaping up? How are you going to replace those guys?
Yeah, so I think we lost a total of 7 seniors out of a roster of 19, 20. It's not terrible. 3 key players that we lost. Ryan Capuzzo, obviously just talked about him, was All-State last year, 19 goals, 6 assists. Blake Klein, who was a 3-year starter on the wing. Brock Roger, 3-year starter on the wing. So that front 3 offensively needs to be replaced. So they're going to be missed. We're going to see Alex later. That's his brother. As a sophomore, scored 10 goals and 5-6 assists. So that's pretty good as a sophomore.
And he's coming back as a junior.
But as a sophomore, that was unbelievable. He scored against Ike the first game and scored in the playoff game. As a sophomore, I mean, I don't know many sophomores that could say they did that against Eisenhower. So I'm actually really excited for him. I think there's a lot of expectation. There's no doubt about it. But we're hoping he can come in and fill that void.
Well, let's talk about that. Kind of go review the 2023 Romeo soccer schedule here for the boys. And your first game's coming up on the 18th at Bloomfield Hills. How tough is that a place to play?
It's going to be tough. And I actually had the privilege to watch them play this weekend. We actually hosted a scrimmages this weekend. And it was a OAA MAC challenge. Kind of had some fun with it. And I was able to watch. The coach asked that we don't play each other going into the regular season, but we were able to watch them play Eisenhower, so I was able to get some notes on them. Very good team in the midfield. They move the ball very well, so should be a tough game.
That'll be a tough game coming up. And then the 21st, you stay out there in Oakland County, and you're at Lake Orion. And that's always a tough place to play.
Yep, and Coach Corteg, I played for him. In my 7 years, I've beaten him one time. That was last year. I remember those ones.
I think he's still got a bar tab he owes at the Shamrock, I think.
Hey.
I don't know.
He's never treated me there, so, hey, Coach, you owe me some burgers over there.
He owe you a burger at the Shamrock. Anyway, then you're home. You come home, first home game, Barnabo Field against Lance Cruz North. Thoughts about that game?
They've struggled numbers a little bit these last few years, but they're very feisty. So last year we kind of came in thinking, it's going to be a lighter game, and they got a penalty shot right after we scored, and they tied it 1-1, and the guys had to buckle down. We ended up winning 6-2, but I never take them lightly. I know their coach, Amir Sabanovich, and got the kids working hard. Mm-hmm. I think early in the season I try not to judge because it's just sloppy. You get a lot of kinks to work out, and new, especially with a new offense, the concern for me this year is, we got to score. And it's okay for me to feel that way. I think, the boys probably don't like hearing that, but really the strength is in our defense. We return the entire defense. We return the entire midfield. We're not returning our front 3. So I'm always wary about any team I play out there.
Well, then you go to your old stopping grounds at Barney Swinehart Field at Utica, play the Eisenhower Eagles. Mm-hmm. Team they're going to have this year.
They're always good. Ike is Ike. I got to watch them play this weekend. I'd say next to Adams, who won the state championship last year, I'd say Ike was the next best team out of the 8. They were very dangerous. They're massive in size. Well coached. Coach Murdad, I've known him for a long time. Good friend of mine. Going to be a tough game. There's no doubt about it.
And we go down to the south end of the Mac Red, and that's Henry Ford II and Runkle Field. And like we pointed out, a lot of those teams in the MAC White could play up in Division One.
Yep.
Do you think Ford's going to be one of those teams this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think Ford and Utica definitely, between us three, is definitely going to be the race for the top. I mean, everyone's dangerous, but I think those three stick out to me. Ford actually had a really good scrimmage against Adams, 3-1 game, and to even score against Adams, who won states, I think that was impressive, and I was really impressed with what I saw.
Now your fourth straight game on the road is out in Anchor Bay, and it's a long bus ride out there, and you don't know what the weather's going to be out there because it's close to the lake.
Usually it rains. That's my luck. It rains when I go out there.
And you go south of there for the fifth straight away. How'd that happen? Where you get 5 straight away games?
Cody wanted me to finish the season at home.
Yeah, bringing it home.
Yeah,
if you can make it. Grosse Pointe North, always a good school, but
that's an away game, right?
That's an away game.
Yeah, you never know. We always get that call the day before the game. Hey, we're going on that 100-yard grass field tomorrow, and he just screws up your entire game plan.
Oh yeah, when they change
Well, if Joey punts it, it goes out of bounds for a goal kick on the other side. So we kind of we practice at Memorial, so it does help us practice for grass. But when you don't plan games on it, it's always difficult.
And then you get 3 straight home games: Utica, Fraser, and Rochester Hill, Stony Creek. And it'd be good to be home. And do you feel much of an advantage being at home, or?
I don't think so. I think it depends on the game. I mean, when you're playing Ike, whenever we play Ike, there's always a bigger crowd at our game, and it feels nice. Utica for sure. I think there's an advantage to being at home. Once you start getting, Fraser, Stony Creek probably doesn't put their emphasis on the MAC games. They're probably focused on their OAA games. Vice versa, the same thing. Yeah, we want to win the game, but you're always not wanting to have an injury, not wanting to have
get out of it. Cool.
I don't really have a rivalry with Stony Creek, which is kind of surprising because they're right down the road. But
yeah,
I noticed they're always like that neutral. I'm like, how come no one hates them? We hate Rochester, we hate Adams, but Stony Creek's just kind of floating around.
Yeah. Well, they're such nice guys.
They're such a nice school.
And then to go back on the road and a tough match against Warren De La Salle. That'll be tough. They got good players out there.
Yeah, they're usually very good. They're actually very young this year, but Coach Mukhtar's always got them. I mean, guy's a legend. Always got his team playing. We played them last year. I thought we were the better team last year, but then it was still only 2-1, and they just grind. They just grind you. So it'll be a battle out there.
Okay, and then Henry Ford II comes to your place for the second meeting of the year. How much does that first game that you play Henry Ford II, how much does it affect the second game?
Yeah, it affects it a lot. I mean, I think at that point, because you're getting down, if you win that game, you win that second game, you got that stretch of Sterling Heights, GPN, Utica
coming up.
You have that stretch of 2 or 3 games where you're like, okay, we're favored, possibly. And you're going to Utica. You can go into Utica with a nice streak. So it's really a massive fixture, probably the biggest fixture we have. Is that?
And as you mentioned, it's Sterling Heights, Grosse Pointe North, and Utica right after that. Utica for the second time, down at Swinehart again. But those 3 games are next. 2 away games, 1 home game in there. And then you come back home and play Lance Cruz. Not Lance Cruz North, but Lance Cruz. And that's a home game on October 6th. And the reason I said October is because the weather kind of changes a little bit. And how does that affect your team?
I think it fits our identity pretty good. I know we're going to talk about that, but it fits what we want to do. We let, when we have a goalie like that, if it's wet, it's actually in our favor, I think. It gets windy and
cold. Wet.
Don't really want to head a ball or a guy punts it.
I'm at the age now where I'm looking for a cup of Campbell's soup and just stay inside, cozy up under a blanket and watch old reruns,
For sure.
And then finally, the last game is an away game against Fraser, and Fraser was tough last year.
Always tough.
And I don't expect anything different from them.
Yeah, their field is actually 5 yards wider on both sides than every other field we play on, so the field's much bigger.
Is that? Do the kids get psyched by that?
No, it's different because when you're crossing a ball, you now have to think about it a little bit. It's like, it's not 65 yards, it's like 70 yards all the way. So now a 30-yard kick is a 35-yard kick. And now your corner kicks are different when you're practicing every day their field's almost like a pro level wide. So it fits our team well. It just you have to practice free kicks because not every call it's made on the outside. If a winger goes
now
out
you
line,
practice that. You practice when you're practicing for playing Fraser at Fraser.
It's almost
you
impossible.
do an extra 5 yards back from the corner kick. Normally,
I can at Memorial, but if you go to Barnabo, the track's there, so you really don't have that space.
Oh yes,
to really kick it. It's not a big deal, but when you're not doing it, those are crucial kicks. And that last game, it just depends what it is. Last year we went to the final game. Well, we don't know what Ford's going to do, so we had to win. Sometimes you go in that final game if you're already out. Sometimes you try to keep injury from happening. So that last game will be interesting because I think we'll have that Lance Cruz game in between. We'll kind of know where we stand in the standings if you're in or out, and that might change the way we approach the game.
See, so I know it's early in the season, but what players have stood out so far?
Well, obviously Joey, he's the returning goalkeeper, captain this year. Plays for the Michigan Wolves. They won the state championship this year. He's got a massive leg. He's been a 3-year varsity starter as a goalie. It's hard to come in as a sophomore and start. He's very good.
Does he sort of control things from where he's at?
Yeah. I think more this year than ever. I think given that captain, when you're younger and you got captains on the team, it's kind of hard. Even though you're a goalie trying to direct traffic, it's like, well, should I talk or should I let the captains talk? So now that he kind of has that green light to be the leader, he's a little more vocal than he was last year, and he's more mature than last year too. So that's one for sure. Andrew Taseski, obviously returning center back captain this year. He scores a lot of goals. I think he scored 4 or 5.
Well, you're looking for him.
He scores on those headers, man. His brother Austin 3 years ago was all-state center back. Scored 7 goals as a defender, all corner kick headers. And he's the same way. He wins a lot of headers, and you need those. You need those grinding goals.
Guys that can time that, especially guys.
Yeah. And then obviously Braden Burke, he was a true freshman last year. I'm saying true like it's in college. A freshman last year. Played every game, every minute of every game as a freshman.
How valuable was that for him?
It was valuable for him. And when I seen him at tryouts, I'm like, he was the first freshman I've ever took straight to varsity without the whole, you're playing JV, I'm moving you up. He was the first one I've ever taken, and he played all 18 games. And I would argue he was top 4 player last year as a freshman. So he's coming as a top 2 or 3 this year. So I'm really excited about him. He looks great. Scored a goal in the scrimmages against Rochester. Did a great job. And then obviously Alex Capuzzo. Obviously scored a lot of goals last year. Scored a big one against Fraser, 2 against Ike. When we're in those district meetings, I'm like, hey, man, I'm trying to find a team that wasn't legit that he didn't score against, and he's a sophomore, for Pete's sake. So really excited about him. Those are probably the 3 main returners, but everyone's looking good. When you have your defense, your goalkeeper, and a midfield, you feel secure. You're like, man, we're not going to give up too many chances, hopefully. And
and they know how to move the ball up the field. It's just a matter of the guys putting it in the net. I know every team in sports develops their own personality and style. How would you describe this team as their personality or style?
Yeah, the way I do it is everyone talks about style of play. Club teams, high school teams. I hate having a style because you got to do it what the team gives you. And when you have a goalie that can punt the ball 80 yards, I'm punting the ball every time. I don't care who tells me anything differently. There was coaches last year, all you do is punt that ball. I'm like, well, until you stop it, that's what's going to happen.
That's what we're going to do.
And it's just so effective. So my goal when I have a team is, what is the team giving you? Are they pressing us? Are they pushing up where there's all 22 guys on one half of the field? Well, if that's the case, we got to put it over. Are they giving us time on the ball? If they're giving us time, then we have to keep the ball. So I'm trying to teach them how to be smart. We have to be smart. What are they giving us? Not just go out there and run around and play. Hey, coach, they're pressing. Well, if they're pressing, that's when you go long. Hey, coach, they're dropping off. They're dropping off, just like football. Throw a short pass. It's very similar in that regard. But our identity is working hard. So all summer, Monday through Thursday, 3-mile run. That's what we do. We run.
I can't run. I leave potholes.
I don't run either anymore.
They don't let me run on the road.
We run and we don't let the ball hit the ground. We challenge everything. And I think that's the mentality you have to have as this area is growing. Like our freshman class, can't tell you how excited I am about it. It's the first, I say, Ike Dakota level talent I've seen where we moved 6 kids up to JV from freshmen. Never done that. I mean, it's a lot of freshmen that I was like, wow.
It's a lot of talent.
It's the first time I've had it. But we've always kind of been realistic. Hey, we're not there yet. We don't have 150 kids at tryouts. We had 76 this year. It's growing. But how do we make up for that? You have to work hard. We've probably heard it from a million coaches, but our team works hard. These boys never not work hard. You talk to De La Salle, they'll tell you Romeo works hard. There's not a better compliment when Coach Mokhtar goes, man, you guys just don't stop.
You play like you practice, as our famous former coach at Eisenhower said, Bob Lancy.
Coach Lancy.
And you play like you practice. And it sounds like they practice pretty hard and work pretty hard.
They work hard. That's the key.
And let's get away from work because I'm starting to sweat here. Let's talk about Romeo boys soccer's first annual golf outing.
All right.
You got one coming up. Tell us about it.
All right, September 10th. It's our first annual. Every year we try to do something better. We've done a lot of watchdog fundraisers, fun runs. I get JL's Barbecue to cater that stuff for us, and it's always been great. And parents keep asking, like, what can we do more? You know, Paul Capuzzo asked, what can I do, Vinny? I want to do something more. Let's do something more. I'm like, well, I'll just do a golf outing. I love golf outings. And the parents, I'll give them credit. They just took it over. They're like, we're going to do it. So Joey's dad and Alex's dad, they all just took it on. And Cody Smith was really happy about it. He's like, oh, this is great. I think it's a great way to fundraise for the program.
Cody's a hockey player. He probably is a good golfer.
I'm thinking he's a good golfer because every time I turn around, the guy's at a golf outing. So
I don't know, man.
He's always golfing.
I don't know if I want to golf against him. Maybe I can get him in my foursome, huh?
You could.
So it's September 10th. Where's it at?
It's at Greystone, and it's in the afternoon. I think it's 3 or 4 o'clock or 2.
2:30, I think. Does it tee off? Yeah, that's the tee off time for it. And how much does it cost?
$500 to foursome.
$500 to foursome.
And we're about just under half full, so there's some space out there.
Mm-hmm. What do I get for $500 foursome? What is the
There's dinner.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the hole-in-one contest. There's all that good stuff. There'll be some refreshments provided. I'm trying to think what else. There's the 50-50. It's just like every other golf outing.
So there's some cool stuff.
There is some
win. You can win even if you suck at golf.
There you go. You can exactly. I mean, I'm not very good, but I think it's good for the kids.
I heard you had a heck of a foot wedge.
Soccer golf. That's a good outing to have. I'll be good at that. But it'll be fun. The parents didn't want to do a first annual and have it be, average. They're like, we want people to come and, I mean, obviously you're going to find holes in it, but the parents are like, I want it to be so people come and say, yeah, I want to come back next year. So there's a ton of effort. I think one parent has 10 sponsors. I mean, that's pretty good.
Romeo's first time.
Coming back, Romeo's just a great community. A lot of the businesses around here, they're very supportive of, the parents are so supportive. I can't be more thankful for the parents I've had over the last 7 years. We wouldn't be able to do this outing without all the help we had previous.
How do I find this golf outing? Where do I go to?
It's online, but what I will do, it's online on the Romeo Athletics website, but what I will do, I will post it on Facebook and Instagram as well. It'll be on Romeo Boys Soccer Facebook page. There's a QR code. All you do is scan it, take you right to the page.
Okay.
So I'll actually put that on Facebook.
So watch out, folks, on Facebook for the Romeo Boys Soccer Golf Outing on September 10th at Greystone, right?
Yep.
And it sounds like a lot of fun. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us here on the Romeo Sports Recap. And in a moment, Madison Janabet is going to be here to talk to some of your star players. Before we continue here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tv@gmail.com. Now, back to the show.
Today, I'm excited to welcome to the show. We've got varsity soccer teammates Alex Capuzzo and Andrew Taseski. Thank you guys for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, so we'll start off with your season last year. You guys finished with a 13-6-3 record, and that was a pretty big improvement from the season prior, right?
Yeah, it was way better because we lost a ton of seniors last year, and I wasn't really expecting to have it that year that we had. But the guys up top really stepped up. His brother Ryan, he stepped up real nice for us in the top, and we had a pretty good midfield, a couple good freshmen, so it was good.
What games in particular, thinking back to last season, stood out for you guys as like turning points? You know, showing strengths, weaknesses, good team moments.
I'd say our win against De La Salle changed a lot. It was our first win against De La Salle, and I don't know how long, but Coach Vinny said it's been a while. Yeah, he said he's never won against De La Salle.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet because they always have a good team.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. It was 2-1, a pretty nice moment. So
Yeah, that's when it probably changed our year around.
yeah.
Was that game pretty early on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we realized like we can probably beat an Ike or something like that. But
Yeah. And you guys tied Eisenhower, right?
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
time that you...
and we were up too. So I don't know. We fell apart, but
Yeah, kind of
Still
disappointing.
coming away with a tie against a team like Eisenhower. That's not too bad, right?
Yeah.
Considering you thought you weren't going to have that great of a year.
No,
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive. I mean, they got a lot of, I'd say, more talent than us. So,
Yeah. we have a lot of kids, and it's kind of hard because when you look at their team, they all like play with each other and like
Like outside of...
yeah. So they all have like that chemistry. So knowing that we tied them, yeah, it's cool, whatever. But I would rather have a win. It kind of does suck that we tied, but
Yeah. And they ended up getting you later in the season, right? Your second playoff round.
yeah,
That was a close one, right?
yeah. That was crazy. Weather was terrible.
took it to double overtime.
Yeah.
Oh, double overtime?
Yeah.
We scored this crazy. It was a free kick at half, and it wasn't even supposed to, like, we didn't even shoot it. Like, we didn't even mean to shoot it, and it was just really wet, so the ball just like skipped over the keeper. That was a crazy goal, and then they came back, they scored, and then we went to OT, and then we were just hoping we can play it to penalties, but we couldn't. We fell apart. So
No shame in that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially considering you guys didn't think you were going to have
yeah,
too great of a season.
yeah.
So then we'll move into off season now. Now it's wrapping up, right? So what did both of you do during the off season? You play for clubs?
Yeah, I played for the Michigan Stars. Pretty high level. Travel a lot. I mean,
Are there other Romeo players that play with you on that team too?
yeah, the only freshman that ever made our team, he's on my team. And me and him have a lot of chemistry together, so I'm glad and excited to play with him again this
Yeah.
year.
How about you?
Me, I actually stopped playing travel in 8th grade. I played basketball too, and I really didn't feel like playing travel. It's just a lot. So I stopped in 8th grade, but I just play high school soccer every year and get back to it. I somehow don't get worse. It's kind of
Just stay
weird.
pretty
Yeah,
consistent.
it's pretty crazy.
Take a little
honestly.
time off. When did practice start for you guys then for this season?
Right when school ended, we had
Oh, really?
captain's practices.
Yeah. And we
Him
have
and Joey Casuccio host, and we just do runs every morning.
Yeah, we have runs every morning in the summer, Monday through Thursday in the mornings. Just
You do not say that with a very excited
No,
tone.
they suck, but they help us. It conditions us because that's what you need in soccer and
Yeah.
have longevity. So
Yeah, so looking forward to this season. Would you like a week? Is that when your first game is?
This Friday.
This
yeah.
Friday? Okay, so can you talk about new additions? You said you had a freshman that made the team, and maybe just who's coming back that's gonna have a strong year.
yeah. So Braden Burke, he was a freshman last year, that the first freshman that made it. He was really good. Can't wait to see what he does this year. He had 2 goals last year as a freshman. That's pretty crazy. And we have a good group of sophomores. Joseph Seeley, he's good. We have a lot of good guys that are young. And then just our senior class, I don't know, me, Joey. Who else we have? Just
Luke Miner,
Yeah.
he's good. Luke Bennett,
Aiden
Odrin. We're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
It's,
a lot of returners. Pretty young team, though, for how many guys we have returning. It's just our young guys are either sophomores or freshmen.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird, but...
Well, that's exciting, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that hopefully means you guys will be good for a while.
Yeah.
Looking forward, are there any games that you guys have that are standing out to you? Anything like maybe getting back at Eisenhower?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. That's one of my favorite games
For
to
sure.
play.
I think at Swinehart's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't honestly... Do we play Ike at Swinehart?
Yeah.
I don't remember that game. I don't know why. Because I feel like this is our first, I haven't felt that feeling playing there in a while.
Oh, no, we haven't played them before.
We always play them home, so it's a weird
Maybe
feeling.
Different vibe.
Yeah, because we always play Utica there because they share
Yeah.
the field.
And they still get more fans than us, even at our home
crazy.
stadium.
Really?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
That's their thing.
Romeo just gets no respect for soccer. It's crazy.
So this is a PSA then.
Yeah.
You,
Go to our games,
please.
Go to the Romeo games, specifically at Eisenhower.
Yeah.
I mean,
Show up.
gonna need the support there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about both of you individually on the team. If you both want to tell me about what position you play, if you've always played that position.
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
Last year for this team, I played center attacking mid. I held the attack in the midfield, and this year I don't know what I'm really going to be playing. Just since we lost our forward group, I'll probably be playing up top because I have to fit that spot that we lost, all the seniors. And
Is that that's similar though to what you're
Yeah,
used to? It's not too big of an adjustment.
It's not an adjustment really, because I've played there before in club season, but I'm still not going to be used to it that much. I don't
A
know.
learning curve.
Yeah.
Slight learning curve.
For me, I play center back. I'm pretty much always the last man back. So we have 4 defenders in the back, and I'm always probably gonna be the one in the back, the last guy. So preferably left center back. I'm not left-footed, but I like left center back more than right. It's just defending, keeping the ball out of our half and keeping it inside their half and keeping our line where it needs to be so we can advance forward.
Nice. And then we'll touch on you again too, Andrew. You're captain this year.
Yeah.
This is your first year as captain?
Yeah.
As a senior? So what does that mean to you? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I always had a voice back there with Joey, that's our goalkeeper. I've always had a voice back there with him, but I don't know, with captain, it kind of feels like I have more authority than I did then.
Yeah.
So I can, manage where my guys need to be more than I did last year. But yeah, it's exciting. So.
Yeah, and I guess it's cool too with having so much of your team being younger too, right? You've got a lot of sophomores, like you said, and the freshmen. You've got a lot of guys looking up to you leadership wise and stuff. So maybe it's a little bit of a bigger role than it could be in years prior, maybe.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good feeling. More than it was last year and the year before. So for sure.
And then again, like I said, you're a senior. So do you want to talk about your post-graduation plans?
Yeah,
if you've got any idea yet?
Yeah, I want to go to college. I don't know where yet. I'm gonna major in computer science. That's what I'm looking forward to. I enjoy doing stuff with computers and stuff like that, and I think the field is where it needs to be for where.
Keep playing soccer or
No,
basketball more your jam?
I would if I really did get an offer for soccer for a bigger school maybe, but it's too much, honestly.
Yeah.
Just to be a student athlete like that, I'd rather focus on my future and
yeah.
But yeah, it would be pretty fun if it was a bigger school and something like that. But
you can come back to Romeo.
I know.
Be on the sidelines, so.
Yeah, hopefully I'm probably gonna come back and coach, but
yeah. Okay, and I know you weren't loving the idea out there, Alex, when I said you want to talk about your plans. But I mean, you've got time. You're a junior, but any idea? It's totally okay if you don't. I'm just asking.
Nah, I really don't got
That's
much
fine.
plans yet.
You've got time.
Yeah.
You want to keep playing soccer?
I would.
Okay.
It's definitely a big change because you're playing. You got multiple practices a day. Yeah. It's hard to put up with working and school and all that. So I don't really know yet.
Understandable.
Yeah, and it is harder too. Like if you were to get an offer from high school, I feel like rather than you just playing like academy or club. Like
I was gonna say club sounds fun. Yeah. I think every college has got a club. Oh yeah. Made multiple club teams. Yeah. That's always an option. So we'll close out with you guys talking about your favorite memories with the team. If you've got like a fun story that sticks out, so maybe like a tournament that you're looking forward to that you guys have had in the past.
I don't know. Some practices are really fun. We work and get our stuff done, and we make sure we do. But like when Coach Vinny, when he just like when someone messes up something and when he says shocking a lot, so like you'll miss a touch or something, you'll be like, that's shocking. That's shocking. It's like the funniest moment every time that happens. A little bit of a diss. Yeah, it's hilarious every time somebody brings that up. It's can't stop laughing.
My favorite memory, I don't really know. No,
like a tournament. You guys you could do like a tournament somewhere. No, you'd never done.
We did last year. It was like that was before the season started. It's really not anything big though. I mean, it's.
Nah, I don't know. My favorite moment was probably scoring the tying goal against Ike. Yeah, that's really it.
That was cool. That was a sick picture too.
Yeah.
That works. That sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's a big game too, right?
Yeah.
So we'll take it. Well, thank you guys for joining me again. Alex Capuso, Andrew Giuseppe, and make sure you guys go check out Romeo Soccer. Go watch a game.
Please.
Begging you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm here with Madison Janabet, and Janabet, it's been a while since we've been took a little break for the summertime, and now that school's starting up back again, the fall sports are starting up. We did our first show today, Romeo Boys Soccer, but we got some other sports coming up here in the fall, and we're going to feature every on the show, every one of them. I don't know when we're going to get them on, but we do know the next 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, I think we've got the next 3 lined up. We've got football coming in next week, preview the season that will also be covering all of those home games.
Yep.
We've got the girls cheerleading team coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got girls varsity golf coming in so far. Those are our next 3-week lineups.
And then we're also going to look at volleyball. And we're going to look at swimming.
Boys tennis.
Boys tennis is coming in too. So there's 3 more shows that we'll do. And then we're going to recap, especially, the scores of what Romeo teams have been doing and any successes they have and any outstanding plays, right, from some of these guys. Yeah. And we want to make sure that they get known. So you want to stay tuned here to the Romeo Sports Recap. Just check us out. And you know what? You know the good thing is?
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is you can, once the show's in the can, you can watch it anywhere. Right? You can watch it anytime you want.
Anytime.
At your leisure.
Yeah. No excuses.
This is not
it's
like...
It's on Spotify, too. You can listen to it while you're driving.
It's not like network TV where you got to wait 8 o'clock every Sunday night.
No.
No, you can do whatever.
You can watch it over and over again.
And I know your dad does because he likes the show and he'll watch it over again.
That he will.
And then he'll take notes and give you notes and how to improve yourself.
Notes,
yeah, right. Just on the other side note before we sign off here. So you have given up your crown as the Romeo Peach Queen.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about how that was, because I know it's on the Mitt TV, but I couldn't take it.
It's a tough watch.
You were starting to cry. I couldn't take it. I had to turn it off.
Yeah, that was a tough day for me. I got it done though. You know, it's great. I passed the crown on to one of my really good friends, so that made it easier. I'm still involved. I'm chaperone now. Now I get to wear now I get the title of chaperone of the Peach Queens. So it's been fun.
You're going to have to clean up your act.
Yeah, I know. I've got the crown sitting on a shelf at home. Good memories.
Yeah. Well, it was a good thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
For sure, as you explained.
I might not be here right now.
Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Who knows?
But we're looking forward to having more Romeo Sports recaps. We're going to, as we get in the winter sports, we do a little bit of hockey, which I know you like hockey because you're working for the Red Wings. And,
so excited.
And so, you got to stay tuned here to the Mitt TV and check us out. Check out our website, and you'll be able to keep up on all the Romeo sports action.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of the Romeo Sports Recap Show, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. You can subscribe to the Mitt TV YouTube page and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Romeo Sports Recap. Or you can find us on Spotify and follow our podcast, Romeo Sports Recap. From the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer here with Madison Janabet, signing off with a final word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. That's mitt.tv@gmail.com.